My first trip to El Corte, I encountered children running along the roadside, along the side of the cars, begging, deep despair, asking us to help them. I actually still have a mark of a scratch from one of the little kids who ran alongside the vehicle and fiercely asking us to help. The sounds that came out of their mouth were guttural sounds. It was almost like animals. It wasn't any particular language. It was just sounds. We stopped and walked through the village and offered them food that day. For days, I had these people and the conditions that I saw constantly going over in my mind and in my heart and trying to figure out, God, we've got to find a way to help these people. And I left there with such a deep hurting in my heart that people really should not have to live this way. Through the help of our wonderful donors, we were able to build 50 homes in this area for the people. Bright colored homes, literally as an oasis in a desert. And you could see it from the distance, these vibrant colored homes in a cluster forming a beautiful village now known as Nativity Village. It was amazing to see the difference that can be made in even a short space of time as we saw these beautiful, safer, structured homes, concrete homes with individual sanitation, inclusive of a pit and a water closet. There is a beautiful cistern that's providing clean water to the villagers. There's a beautiful community center where the villagers can come together for meetings and worship and come together to learn vocational training. Not only that, but there is a chicken farm which provides meat and soon eggs for the villagers to help to enhance their diet. As we visited this village for the inauguration, the people were excited. They were there waiting on us. God bless you, and we love you. They exploded in loud applause just to say to us, welcome, thank you so much for all that you have done. It was really beautiful just to see even the children who run alongside those vehicles the first time we went there, and to see how much they had grown now. They had become more settled. They didn't have to be running alongside the road begging. It was really incredible to see that marked difference. In the distance, I could see a little shack where people were still living. And when we got there, there were 9 people living in this little wooden shack, very unsafe home. 7 children, a mom and a dad. And I wondered and I queried, why weren't they at the community center? It was Thursday that we were there and they hadn't eaten for days. And that just tore my heart to pieces. And so I asked the mom if she would allow me to take the older boy, his name is Tito. He was 12 years old, but by American standard, he could have been 5 or 6 years old. And so Tito journeyed back with me to the community center, where I was able to pack a box with milk, Crocs, and went over to the chicken coop and gave him 2 live chickens and some other goods. This little boy's eyes lit up with gratitude, as I wish I could have communicated to him much more to let him know how much God loves him and the people that had invested in Nativity, how much he was loved and cared for. And be a good boy. And it was because of God's love for that village why we found them and why we were there. And so I blessed Tito and sent him back home to his mom with a box of goodies so that they could live for a couple more days at least. I still have not forgotten those people since we have come home, and I'm constantly trying to come up with creative ideas to say, what can we do to change a nutritional situation of this village? Because even though they have been given homes, clean water, sanitation, and a community center, there are still needs. There are still families in this village that do not have a home as yet. There are ways in which we need to assist their dietary intake, because there were so many children that were still visibly malnourished in this community. So far, we are grateful for the amazing change that has happened in El Corte, but we continue to believe that more change will come to them.